Align and Awaken with Mother Earth Rising podcast. Let's rise and heal together with me, Pippa, your Mother Earth healer. Hi guys. So today I'm joined with another friend. It's going to be a very informal chat. I will say that she's nervous, even though she does cacao ceremony events. She's always speaking in front of people, and she's sat in front of me right now. So nervous, but she's here. Her name is Jess, and she is a wonderful, beautiful soul. So say hi, Jess.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
So I know that we could chat for hours. So with a mic being here, that's all that's in front of us. Yeah. So just imagine we've just met for the first time. Tell me and everyone who's listening about your beautiful self and your beautiful spiritual journey. And you can go as deep as you like, because I'm sure people will resonate.
Yeah. So first of all, I think I could put a phone voice on then. Hi, guys. Hello. So, okay. My journey, my story. Where to start? So I feel like I've been on this spiritual journey now for quite a while. I feel like I had a bit of an awakening when I was 11, but I feel like we don't really know what's going on and we're still quite young and we're being moulded by society. So it was only when I'd moved to Australia, that's when things started to get weird, because I grew up in a Christian family, Christian background, and all I ever knew was Jesus, God, and the Bible. That was it. I didn't have any insight on anything else. And I was really passionate about my religion. But the hardest thing was really connecting with God. I couldn't connect with him. You know, all my family, they could speak tongues. They had gift of translation. And I used to say to my mum, I've asked God into my heart, when am I going to get my gift? And I did it for years.
Oh, it's like Encanto. Have you seen Encanto, the Disney movie?
No.
Oh my God, you need to watch it. It's like passed down the line. They all get gifts and she doesn't get one and she feels like, oh, you have to watch it. Just remind me when you said, where's my gift?
Oh, wow.
You need to watch Encanto.
Okay, yes. So starting this journey, when I moved to Australia, I actually moved there to escape because of all the turbulence that was going on. So when it kind of hit home about the whole God and, you know, this religion that I was in, it was only when I think I was about 17. Well, I know I was 17 and I was raped and my whole life came crashing down because I was like, what the hell? Why would God do this to me? Out of everything I have ever done, and, you know, every Sunday in church, reading the Bible, I'd even carry the Bible with me. So that was a complete game changer for me. I was like, God's not real.
And that's why religion makes you feel like, why would God put
Well, I had so much resentment and it was the hardest thing because I remember my nan, she basically like came to me and she was like, you know, just ask God into your heart and he's here for you. You know, I kept looking at her thinking, no, I'm not asking God to help me with anything anymore for what I've had to go through. And I feel like that was the start.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had to go into solitude. I didn't trust anyone. You know, I didn't get any justice through the court system. So it was quite of a painful, 17. I'm just becoming a woman, thinking I know the world, but I don't know anything. So fast forward now to 2016. At this point'd been in hospital plenty of times due to alcoholism, always getting picked up by ambulances because I was just wrecking myself, but I was almost trying to hide from these feelings that I needed to release. I was trying to suppress them.
Your escapism as well.
That was it. I was really escaping this new reality because reality can change in a blink of a second. My life was perfect. Like I was loving my life, you know. So I decided in 2016 I would move to Australia.
Australia is always a cure.
Well,
I did the same.
You know what? It is like, and the thing is, I didn't know anyone out there.
Yeah.
I saved up loads of money and I just didn't really tell anyone I was leaving either. I didn't have a relationship at the time with my mum or my dad, just my nana, really. I didn't really have any friends either because I really pushed people away. I moved to Australia, and still to this point, as much as I was still resenting God, I still carried a Bible because that's all I knew.
Comfort blanket
it was
as well.
Comfort.
Yeah.
So I've got to Australia and I've stayed in a hostel, never done anything like this before, and things started to get weird. And when I say weird, I was starting to actually visualize things in my sleep. Now, I know we have dreams, but this was almost like my soul was getting pulled out. And I was like, what's going on? Now I understand it's astro traveling, astral projection, and I have fun with it now. But for me back then, I was thinking, oh my goodness, the devil's after me now. I'm opening myself up. Yeah. So again, I had massive fear of the devil growing up.
Isn't it crazy how religion makes you fearful of all that?
Well, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. You need to be open to the fact that there is other ways of living, which doesn't need to be with rules and regulations that put fear upon you, because I remember, it really limits you. So I've started having these dreams, and I think this is kind of where the depression really hit. I was playing this role of, I'm fine, I'm a free spirit, but really I was crumbling. I was so lonely. I was so disconnected from who I was, and I still had a lot of pain from the trauma because I needed to learn to forgive. And that's the hardest thing, because it's like, why should I forgive
and
when they
deserve it?
They don't deserve it. So I started going through all these emotions, and every day I'd wake up and I'd be scared of death. Like, this is now dark night of the soul. I was fearing everything. So what do we do? When you fear something, you then escape again. So this time wasn't just alcohol, it was now drugs. Yeah. So I never took drugs growing up, but as soon as I got into my 20s, 21, that was it. I was trying everything. And I look back and I think, wow, I'm kind of glad that I had the experience with drugs, because I now don't touch drugs. I just, I work with plant medicines. But I think that's when it really hits home, and that's when, you start getting like psychosis. And I got really pushed myself. I actually got sectioned in 2017 because I started hearing voices and I started seeing numbers. And to me, again, I didn't know this was guidance from my guides, my angels, source, I had no clue. So then when I got sectioned, they give you like a checklist. Do you hear voices? And I was like, yeah.
But then that sin is like wrong.
Yes. And then they put me away and I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done wrong? Like I was really being vulnerable there, going, you know what? Yeah, I'm seeing number combinations, but nothing ever bad. I was never being told to do anything bad. It was just more of, just seeing signs as you do. Yeah. So I think that was kind of the time in 2017.
That was like kind of what you call rock bottom, but it's not rock bottom. It's kind of like where you don't let your soul get.
It's death of the ego. I really think it's the ego really getting stripped from you, even though we got to love ego. Like that's our inner child almost. But I mean, it's ego when it's like really in its completely real form. Life. Yeah, it just really takes you on this destruction and bad choices, and you're becoming even further away from your true authentic self. So we're in 2017 now, and I thought, this has got to change. Like, I'm desperate. I am now like, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't want to leave the country, but I don't know how I can stay here. And someone said to me, have you ever had Reiki done? And I was like, no, because that's the devil's work, isn't it? Like, I was still in and out of this Christianity. And someone was like, no, it's, it's rebalancing your chakras.
Pure love.
It's just, They said, go and try it out. So I was really, really a bit nervous. So my first treatment, I went in and I said to the lady, what are we doing? Like, is it like a massage? And she's like, no, I'm not even going to put my hands on you. And I'm thinking, oh God, what is this? And so I'm lying there. And when you I think that was probably one of the first times I ever sat with myself.
Just lay down and quiet,
because I never meditated, because I was fast paced on the go. It's like a rat race. You're like constantly meeting.
Again,
exactly.
Scared to sit still.
So scared. So then I'm lying down and I can feel this heat coming off her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, right, okay, just go with it. So I'm like in and out of like sleep and, you know, consciousness almost. Like I'm in this like a theta delta state where the body's just completely in relaxation. And she goes over my heart because I kept on like peeking. Like, what is she doing? And I saw the devil. And he was all in flames. So I started hyperventilating. My body started shaking. And I'm now like really speaking to her going, what's happening? Why am I seeing him? Why is he here? And she's like, just breathe through it. And I'm like, I'm really, really scared.
Like you were purging it, really.
Maybe. Like this was probably these emotions were being held on to me for so long, and it was finally time for me to be faced with my fears, because I feel like that's what we don't face. As soon as you face your fear, then that's when you work on it, and it doesn't become a fear anymore. It just becomes a part of something you just need to detach from almost. So next minute she's like, just breathe through it, and she goes over just below my heart, which is the solar plexus. Well, at the time I didn't know that, and this massive angel came in and hugged me, but I was visualizing it, so I didn't understand, like, how can I see these things with my eyes closed? Like, am I just making this up? It's like, I don't want to tell I'm seeing things, so they locked me up last time, so like, what is going on?
You battle in your head, isn't it?
Well, it's almost, I didn't have many people around me that were spiritual, so I could never talk about these things, and I feel like this is a big thing, that be open.
Surround yourself with people who get it.
Exactly. Because that's who's going to really uplift you.
And not judge you in it and stuff. That's what's powerful, to be in that collective, isn't it?
100%. So anyway, after that Reiki treatment, I never went back.
You're like,
I said, no. I said to my friend, what did you put me through? But that was the start of something beautiful.
Yeah, always is.
Because now here, 2022, you know, I'm a Reiki practitioner. I do Reiki healing. I do the Reiki drum. And I really feel like I had to go through the journey of it, because, you know, we're very, what's the word? We need things in an instant. We don't take our time with things anymore, because we can get anything. We've got our phones.
I say that. You can get some next day delivery, kind of.
Exactly. So from that journey, then I came back home, and I will say, I know this whole pandemic has been really challenging for some people, and my heart really goes out, but it was one of the biggest growth spurts for me, and a few people that I've spoken to.
Me too, even though it's been like away from Chris.
Well, it's turbulence, but it's almost
the challenge you need to grow.
Yes, and what better time to sit still with yourself and be aware of it. I think that's complete.
Well, that's what I say, is like collective, we co-create everything that happens on the planet, as you know, Jess. So it's like, before the pandemic hit, we were all saying, I should slow down, I should do more of this, I need a break, I need time out. So we've created it. We did. And I always say, take ownership of that, because as a collective, we've created COVID, and now that's why we're coming out of it, because now we're sick of COVID, we want to get rid of it. So we're co-creating out of it at the moment. And I think, I do believe, and you'll know this, the last 2 years there's been more spiritual awakenings, because what 100%. When you've got nothing else to worry about, what are you faced with? Yourself in the mirror.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's why I think that's why it's happened.
Well,
because of it
is. Well, the earth's just purging now. I think we've all gone through our own experiences of feeling these, you know, these pains, and now we're doing it as a collective. It's like, let's clear all of this stuff that no longer serves us, and let's replenish the earth. Let's create this new world that we want for our children, for our children's children. So it's beautiful where it's kind of guided me, because now I'm holding space, ceremonies with the cacao plant medicine, and it's just really allowed me to delve in, because anything that we do on this journey, we do it for ourselves first. I don't know anyone who's gone, I'm going to be a Reiki practitioner because I want to help other people. They do it because it's a self-help for you. And then if you feel that you can then carry
you so much,
if I can see the benefits, and it's like I flipped a coin, like I'm polar opposite to who I was. And I still love the old me. Like, I absolutely love her. Yeah, she was such a strong warrior. Like, I look back and I think, God, I wish I could give her a hug now. Like, you've done well. Thank you for getting me to where I am now. But yeah, just with going now with the plant medicines, I feel like it's really important that everyone does it in their own time, because I think, again, I was very cautious because I thought, you know what, I don't take drugs anymore. I don't really drink alcohol. And then coming back home, I was introduced with psilocybin, and I was like, oh, you know, I've had a really bad time on that. I took that in Bali when I was drinking alcohol, and I had the most horrific time.
It's like mixing it with the alcohol, isn't it, and things?
Well, it's disrespecting the plant, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was a bit apprehensive, but saying that, I put myself out there, came home, and I thought, you know what? The only way that I'm going to meet this tribe, this soul community, is if I put myself out there and show up to who I am now and not who I was, because I don't need to have this, you know, almost a mask or this character. Because if I be myself, then I'm going to attract people who love me.
Yeah.
And so I started the journey with, you know, going to ceremonies, and again, really opening my mind and going, life is actually beautiful when you just surrender.
Yeah, and trust it.
And just trust, because we feel like we need to know exactly what's happening, what we're doing. But when you surrender and you go, right, okay, I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to listen.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to be shown what I need to work on. So then that will then help my collective and then help the earth and help everyone else around us.
So, Jess, something I wanted to ask you about that journey. I come across clients and people who are stuck and they're feeling like they're constantly challenged. They feel like, again, they're in that victim mode of why is this happening to me? Why me? What have I done to deserve this? So what would be a bit of advice, support, guidance for anyone on a journey that they feel they're really being tested right now?
Okay, so I just really feel like when we are being tested, acknowledge it. So instead of going, oh, this is happening to me, this is a really good thing that you taught me, it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. So we see patterns. And if you feel like you are being faced with a challenge after challenge, then you really need to sit down. And I know this can be hard because it's hard for me to sit still, but to really just be with yourself. And when I say meditate as well, it doesn't need to be sitting still. You can dance, move, create, but try and shift a paradigm. What is it that is causing this to keep showing up? What are you missing? What are you being shown that you are missing? What's the lesson that you're trying to get from it?
And why are you missing it? Because you're not being present with actually what's going on.
It. So and sometimes we're not going to get it straight away, but I think it's when you are consciously aware and you go, right, this is failing or this is not working, take a step back, because I feel like what happens is we have this fear of failing. We have this fear of, oh, well, if anyone sees me, you know, I've not done this. And you get this panic. So then they just feel like they have to keep going forward. But the more you keep going forward, the more obstacles are coming. So it's basically just stopping.
Yeah.
That's it. Just breathing. Yeah. Breathe into the moment, because it's one thing that I've learned. If you just sit and breathe and be with yourself, that's all that matters, because that's you're in the present moment. And the more that you ground yourself in the present moment, the more then you can open your heart and make the correct choices with love instead of the mind and the ego.
It's like a choice in alignment, isn't it? Because when you make choices when you're not aligned, again, it doesn't. We've all done it. We've make a choice and think, oh, I regretted it straight away, because it's not come from that gut instinct, it's from your intuition. I think about what happened to me this morning, going to that charity shop.
Yeah,
that was a gut instinct. That was
it was a vibrational match. Yeah, so that was always going to happen. So when you're in that pure alignment with self, then everything around you will be a vibrational match with that. So like I mentioned before, if these obstacles keep coming up and that feeling that you're getting, well, it's because you're attracting that. Yeah. And it's about, again, sitting with yourself. Maybe you need to, you know, take a time out, get off your phone for a little bit. Maybe reevaluate the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Do you find that people are being a bit toxic? Are people gossiping? You know, you've got to see where it's coming from almost, and just reevaluate. I'm not saying you've got to cut everything off, and it's just about being aware and conscious of the situations that keep arising, and what can you do to better your life. You know, that's what I think I'd suggest.
It leads me on to the fact of like what's been coming up for me in my channel chat sessions the last couple of weeks is about a lot of people think that healing is a destination, and that we hire a coach, we buy a course, we have plant medicine, we do a cacao ceremony, we add all these things to our pot and we go, oh, I've done this and this and this, and then you think, but I'm not. It's like you're constantly like waiting for this miraculous day. You wake up and you think, I'm healed, and I'm sorry to say this, but that will happen when you leave the earth. It really will. I say to people, so like for me, and this isn't to say like, I know people agree with me in a sense of enlightenment, but we don't fully reach enlightenment on the planet in a 3D human self because we didn't come back to earth. That's why we came back to earth, because we need to understand what a 3D self was, a human self was.
It's the experience.
The enlightenment is going back to source when we die. And so many people are actually petrified of dying, and I get it, because like the fact of leaving, like, I'm leaving like chocolate behind and my loved ones,
I'm like, where am I going?
Exactly. And like now when you start to really connect to who we are, the fear comes in. You think, oh my God, and you start thinking about leaving people behind. Obviously it's way down the line for us, but really you start to realize that that's the gift.
It is.
That's the gift. And then remembering that this journey as a human is the gift.
It is.
We've been given a gift to do it again.
Of course.
Yeah. So I think for me, what people want to connect more to is peace, finding peace in areas of your life.
Yes. And I feel like with spirituality, I get a lot of people who are not there yet. And when I say not there, I don't mean it's like a club or it's this. Sometimes I don't even like using the word spirituality. I don't want to label anything. I'm not
an awakening.
It's awakening. I'm not any superior than anyone else. I am just finally connecting to my roots and my alignment. And that's what you want to encourage other people to do.
It's your path.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, we're all humans, we're all having this beautiful experience, but we've all got a different story. And now everybody's got a story. And it's then use that story to guide you back home.
Like the Hansel and Gretel, the breadcrumbs, isn't it? I always say that. The breadcrumbs on the path. Think, oh, there's another crumb and another crumb. It really is. And like I said to you earlier on about, we're all on different pages in a book. I could be on page 60, you're on page 100. We could have completely different books. So that's the awakening journey. That what I've found, because I see it and then I channel it, is that, again, spirituality isn't a trend. It's not something that we go, well, I'm spiritual now. So it's not about that. It's actually waking up going, I want to better my life.
Exactly.
I want to connect to something more meaningful. I want purpose in my life. And to wake up and have that, it's
liberating.
Shout out to you now. It's incredible for you to have that decision when you wake up, because it comes from a place of soul. And as you make that decision, your soul starts to get louder and louder and louder, and you start to really trust that what's a soul decision and what's an ego decision.
Exactly.
And you can tell the difference. I know when I'm an ego, I'm like, right, we'll just go away. But when it's higher self, it's flow, it's natural, it's aligned, it's easy, it's peaceful, and it's calm. So, and again, it's from love.
That's exactly
from
what
the
it
ego.
is.
It'll be fearful. It'll be doubtful. It'll be like, it won't feel good.
No.
But again, don't judge yourself and give yourself like a hard time if you have made a decision out of ego.
That's it. It's about acknowledging and going, do you know what? Yeah, I made a mistake there. I'm not going to do that again.
What have I learned from it?
What did I learn from it? I felt this feeling and I really did not like it. So yeah, I'm going to, reflect on that, work through that. And hopefully I've learnt the lesson so it won't show up louder. Because each time we ignore the signs of, things like obstacles, the more we ignore, like you said, they're going to get louder and they're going to get more, not traumatic, but they're going to make us feel more uncomfortable till it goes smack in the face, stop what you're doing, turn around and go down this route, which is more nourishing.
That kind of is like the burnout, and sometimes people say that's when depression kicks in.
It is.
Like watching Jim Carrey on the video yesterday talking about deep rest.
Yeah.
It's about taking the mask off. You don't want to play the character anymore. Like you said, you were done playing that character because nothing aligns with that character. Again, you're in gossip, you're in drama, you feel like you're constantly in a hole. And you can't get out of it.
But with that, the journey isn't fun because you're constantly checking, right, okay, can I act like this because I've been this character? I can't really change that now.
It's exhausting.
And it's scary though to then drop that persona and go, right, I'm being. That's not me.
But if you notice when you go from that, acting as a character, like you're not being your true self, to when you act like your true self, naturally things fall away because your vibration changes.
Exactly, yeah.
And I say to clients that I work with, if friends start to not ask you to go out,
then
their ego gets triggered saying, they're not asking me out, but actually is that doing you a favour? You've got to see it from an awareness.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're not being asked out to the pub on a Friday night with all your friends who gossip all night, you get a chance to stay in and read books and meditate and watch a movie with your husband or your kids or your wife. And I think, wow, thank you very much, universe. So you start to see things from that, again, this is happening for me.
Yeah.
But then it's remembering that, the triggers that come up, as you said, that because that's obviously what I love to help people with. The triggers that come up are for you, the gifts. They don't feel like gifts when they're happening, but they are gifts for you to grow, because they really are coming to you to go, that didn't feel right. Why did it not feel right?
Yeah.
And you start to again dig and dig and dig, and you connect the dots. And I say your life is like a mosaic, and you just put in the pieces. You're the centerpiece, and you're just picking the pieces up to make the mosaic whole. And then when you get to wholeness, it's like, right, that's when you're back at source.
Yeah.
So I always say it's about enjoying the whole journey, because I was like, if we're all on a big massive field, 8 billion of us, and we all have a different path, our path's going to different. It's going to twist a different place. It's going to go uphill. It's going to go downhill. But the problem is, we're all doing it together.
Yeah,
we're all connected.
The movement, like
the strings,
it's amazing.
The bond that's keeping us all collectively bonded, and that's why I think love needs to be the driving force of the planet rising.
This is something that, so since doing my Reiki and then, going through different ways on how can I help myself.
Modalities, isn't it?
It is, but something that really has been a massive thing to me now is leading with love.
Yeah.
And allowing people to connect into the heart space. It's easy to do that, but what about if your heart's out of balance? What if you're giving too much love? What about if you're not giving yourself enough love? So what I'm really passionate about now is really grounding my clients, but then opening the heart, because what can happen is if you're not grounded and you open your heart, that's when you can be in a very vulnerable position where people can then manipulate and again, you are making choices for others and not for your own. The amount of times that we've neglected ourselves, and this is one of the things with the cacao and why I now really work close with the plant medicine of cacao, because when I started to drink the cacao, I'll be very honest, I went to my first ceremony and I didn't research it. So I just thought I'd go. And I was like, this is just hot chocolate. What is going on? I've been conned here. Like, this is a joke. Boy, was I wrong. I'm always open. And I drank the cacao and I sat with myself, and someone said, right, set your intention why you're here. And I actually said to myself, well, I've actually done a lot of healing and I actually forgive the people for what they did to me. So that doesn't trigger me as much anymore. And then I drank the cacao and I sat there. And all I got was this download and information. Forgiveness. And I kept on thinking, forgiveness of what? Forgiveness of myself.
I know you're going to say that, yeah.
Forgiveness.
Because you forget about yourself.
Because I didn't show up for me. Those times that, I'd sit there, I'd, drink alcohol till I black out and self-harming because I'm trying to transfer pain out of the body into a different, reality, from an emotional to a physical and, So what I started to do, I started to take on this journey of just drinking cacao just for myself. I didn't ask anyone to do it with me. I'm just going to give it a go. So I drank it every single day. And I decided to then do a dieta. So it's like a 10-day fast.
We just have cacao.
We just have cacao, and you can have like raw vegetables and so no seasoning, salts, not, it's called a Sattvic diet, I think. I think I pronounced it right. So I did it for 10 days. And the first 3 days are the most challenging because your body's now fluctuating now from its natural salts and sugars, and your body's now
using reserves.
Well, exactly. Your body goes into almost starvation, but you're not, because you are keeping up your fluids.
It's like fasting, isn't it? That's why they do say that quote about if to control your mind, you have to be able to control your food.
Yeah.
You can't control anything else. And that's one thing I'm like, chocolate's my downfall. I'll get there. I do really want to start fasting. I need to do it.
Yeah.
I've done it a little bit.
We'll do it. We'll do it if you want. We'll guide each other. Because it's always nice to have the support.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I got onto day 4 to day 6 in this dieta, really, really getting so much information. She was speaking to me in different languages. She was going like Gonatoa, and I'll have to try and figure out. She kept saying Gonatoa, so I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure it was in Greek, to kneel on my knees before I drink the cacao. And I was like, oh my goodness, like always trying to use my intuition without Googling things, but I didn't know what the hell Granatoa was. I was like, what is Granatoa? So yeah, day 4 to day 6, I got so creative and I really sat with it and I went, wow, my heart's open. I'm now seeing life through the creativity and not the logic, because the logic brain will go, well, you can't be creative. It's not going to make you money. You can't be creative. It's not sustainable. You're not going to get far with it. Drop those limiting beliefs. So my heart kept on opening and I was like, I need people to feel this. Now, I'm not saying anyone's going to have the same experience as me, because each cacao will always work with us on an individual level. So you may have similar, but it's what you take from it and where you are at. And with pure intention, if you are ready to access that heart portal, because once you open it, you ain't going back. You are there in pure love. And it's always there for you then. You can always go back to it and you can take it down different pathways. And that's when you start making really good decisions, because you're like, my heart's open. I'm ready to surrender.
And you're being raw, aren't you? Like, it's raw,
real
and authentic.
And raw. I love that. That's it. You're being this energy of love.
Again, it's that what Wayne says. If they were to squeeze you, what would come out? Like an orange. If he squeezes an orange is going to come out. If they squeeze you and you've had a nice cacao drink, really connect to the heart space, what comes out of the heart? It's love.
It's love.
So that's why I like that, because when you sat drinking cacao, especially in a warm setting, when it's like the warm and
beautiful,
like it's like a hot chocolate. And then you feel that if someone came up to squeeze you, you would just be love, and you want to hug people. That's why it brings that love into your being.
But like going back to when you said about us all being in a field and everyone, we are literally fragmentations of God's appreciation. We are all that, and it's about coming back to what we know. And what we know is similar but different, and we all take different forms with it. But it's then when we have the distractions, chaos, which really sidetracks us, and that's why we've got a massive divide, when really we all need to support, love, encourage one another to be you. Don't be like me, don't be like them, be you. And that is the most powerful thing you can ever do whilst being here on the earth, to be you.
Yeah, because as things are the spiritual journey, again, people start to compare themselves, don't they? Like, oh, well, somebody's had such new awakenings and they've done this and they've done that. And it's like, again, you're looking outside for validation.
Stay in your lane. So remind yourself that, like you said, everyone's on different pages, different books, and no one is more superior.
Nope.
Like no one, exactly, not even the gurus. Like they've just really sat.
And they know that,
and they know that.
Well, it's like I always say to people, like, you look at someone like a guru. Like we had a really good call last week with Michael Beckwith.
Oh right, yeah.
In our group, in a group coaching call, and he was one of our special guests. And he's classed as like a guru. He does all these different ceremonies, and I think to myself, he doesn't sit there thinking I'm better than all you that I'm teaching. But then some people will be fearful and think, oh my god, I want to be more like him, but he'd want you to just be yourself. So I think these gurus, and I mean, I'm reading different books. Conversation with God's been a big one for me, and it talks about they just connect to pure love, and then they don't judge you. That's why they become masters, because they're just connected to what we already know. And that's why I say I don't agree with going finding yourself. I don't say go find yourself, go remember yourself, because because you already came pure. It's just you came
just unraveling. It's unraveling.
Unfortunately, we came through our mum's birth canal. We forgot. And that's the whole point, because we're picking up the pieces, we're remembering who we are. And then if you go to a certain country, I mean, I'm having my hypnosis done tomorrow, and I'm going to ask, why am I so drawn to Australia? Why am I so drawn to Egyptian history? And there'll be reasons for it, because your soul's going, oh, you had a life there. And then I say to clients, get fun with it. And before we finish, what I wanted to say was about the healing journey, having fun with it. Because I think with a lot of people that I've worked with and work with, is that they take it seriously.
Too serious.
And they want this like day they wake up and they're healed. But that's why with the plant medicine, you can have fun with that. You can do dance. You can, if the full moon ceremonies.
You could do absolutely anything. It's just like you said, allowing that inner child to come out. Yeah. That inner child wants to be healed as well, and she's just there to have fun.
That's why I love Disney. I love like having a cacao drink of a night time watching a Disney. You need next time
That's your perfect night in.
Next time you have cacao, you need to watch Encanto, the new Disney
Do you know what?
movie. It's so beautiful. They're bringing the new Disney movies now are all really spiritual. And have you seen Soul?
Do you know what? I'm going to be very honest.
You've not seen Soul?
I don't watch films.
Do you not?
No, I just...
Right, promise me you'll watch Soul and Encanto.
Okay,
because they're so spiritual, you'll love them.
Okay, I think you promise.
Pinky now. So, before we finish, is there any other bits of guidance or whatever comes to you?
I think just always speak your truth.
Yeah.
Even when times get tough. Because the more you deny yourself, that's punishment. It's really big punishment. And I'm not asking you to go broadcast anything. I just mean, if you stand firm by something, then live in integrity with it.
Yeah.
Like really stand in your truth. And even if it's going to be challenging with other people, just always give compassion. Be open to their thoughts and their opinions and just their way as well. Yeah. Because it's going back just quickly to like my nan and all my family, they're still really religious. Yeah. And they really, you know, I don't know if they're too happy about what I'm doing, but they're giving me that space to do it.
And that's the point.
And I always reassure them and saying, I'm doing this for the highest of the good. I'm not being told to do this or anything malicious. I'm literally self-helping myself and showing other people tools as well. Yeah. And then they can go away and do that for themselves. Yeah. So I respect her upbringing. Everyone. I respect everyone.
It's like honouring yourself and honouring where everyone's at on the journey.
It's powerful.
Because I always say, by you being authentic and true to you, there could be someone listening right now who says, I resonate with Jess's story. Oh my God. And you don't realise, by standing true to who you are and, you know, openly talking about your challenges, if you feel comfortable to do that, there's so many women and men out there who've gone through the same.
Well,
we come together and then we go, I feel you.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Let me hug you. Let me hold your hand. Yeah. I'll just sit with you in silence.
Let's grow together. Let's just get through it.
Yeah, I say to my friends now, if you want me to just come around and sit in silence, the power of silence. I will start crying because we're not even saying anything because you just sat with it. So it's powerful that. I think it is about honouring where you are on your journey. Yeah, definitely. Because you're exactly where you're meant to be.
Definitely. And what I will say, if it's okay, if there is anyone listening who has, you know, has been sexually assaulted or, you know, had to go through some, you know, that pain, then if you want to chat with me, then I'm here to give you guidance on what helped me. I'm not saying it's going to help you, but I'm happy to share how I've managed to get to this point where I'm good. I'm happy. I'm content. And I live with a lot of ease and grace. And it is challenging, but I didn't have anyone when I was going through that. Yeah. So I feel like I learned it the hard way. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm here for you. And if you want to reach out, I'll be more than happy to just have a chat.
It's beautiful. And I think I resonate with that because I was sexually assaulted when I was 21. Yeah. And it wasn't as far as rape, but, you know, it's just feel, you feel singled out. Yeah. You feel like, well, what did I do to deserve that? Exactly. You know, and then you start to doubt yourself.
100%.
Did I give them the wrong signals? Was it me? So I think that's where you have to come back to your truth. That actually what someone else's behaviour has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
And that's where that's again separating the ego from the higher self. Yeah. So I think if anyone's out there, whether you've been through something traumatic, whatever it is,
we're here.
You know, Jess is great for that, especially with the plant medicine and the cacao. She can send you some because she sells it. She's brought me some today. I ran out because I've been having it in my smoothies, which again, has been opening my heart. I've been having it in my smoothies for weeks.
Pure love cacao.
Yeah. I think I'm just like emanating pure love out to everybody. So I really hope that everyone's enjoyed listening. And I just think like it's beautiful because I know you were nervous.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm going to put all Jess's links in the show notes and you can reach out to her on Instagram and chat to her if you've got any questions. She'd be so happy to reply. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you, Pip.
Chat soon.
Bye.
Bye.